Small town of Mapleton is grieving the loss of two high school students who died in a car crash this morning, and ODOT is already responding, taking steps to try to make that stretch of road safer. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Renee McCullough.
And I'm Matt Templeman. 17-year-old Abigail Boydston of Notai and 16-year-old Weston Bowman of Mapleton both died at the scene. The driver and two other passengers in the car are in the hospital tonight. KEZI 9 News reporter Jessica Debus joins us live in the studio with our top story here at 6 o'clock. Jessica.
Oregon State Police released those names just before 5 o'clock tonight. They wanted to wait until all families were notified. But a restaurant manager we talked to this morning knew exactly who these students were right away because he saw them just moments before the accident. A Thursday tradition turned tragic. The manager of Pop's Gingerbread Smokehouse says a group of students came to eat breakfast before school like they do every week on this day. He said a few of them left to pick up friends and never came back.
The vehicle departed its lane of travel, went down a small embankment colliding with a tree. It came to rest down at the bottom of the embankment. It's about a 10-foot embankment.
Two students in the back of the small SUV were killed. The driver and two other passengers were rushed to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Troopers shut down more than 30 miles of road and set up a detour, while traffic via social media started picking up as others caught wind of the news.
We've got grief counselors heading to the school, things of that nature to help the kids kind of work their way through this, the teachers work their way through this.
The restaurant about a mile away was as close as people on the east side could get to the crash. That's also where an empty log truck crashed into the hillside. Witnesses say it was a move the driver took suddenly when he approached the original backup of the first crash. But even after the truck was towed away, the road stayed closed for hours while troopers worked to find out what went wrong during what seemed like a typical morning commute.
When you are doing a reconstruction like this, you want to take in all the evidence that you can to make certain that your information is as accurate as possible.
And the road was reopened to one lane of traffic after 1 o'clock. Now all lanes are back open. Police remind drivers to be careful on this windy two-lane road. Live in the studio, Jessica Debus, KEZI 9 News.
All right, thank you very much, Jessica. And we are learning more about one of the teenagers who survived that crash. According to Terry Nichols' Facebook page, her daughter, Olivia Nichol, you see here, is in the intensive care unit at Riverbend Hospital in Springfield. Of course, the small town of Mapleton is devastated by the news of this crash.
KEZI 9 News reporter Stacey Kafka is live tonight in Mapleton after talking with residents and school administrators there. Stacey?
People living here in Mapleton say it's such a small community that it's very tight-knit, which is why everyone is absolutely upset about this tragic crash. Now, students at Mapleton High School were let out of class early today, and the school had grief counselors on hand to help students with the tragedy. The superintendent sent a letter home with all students saying the district has care rooms available for students and staff, where trained grief counselors will be to help anyone cope with the news. It's also bringing staff in from neighboring school districts to help care for the students. Community members say this community, because of its size, is so tight-knit that everyone is shocked by the loss of these students. And now one man told me that the entire high school only has about 40 students. So anyone in this community probably knows either the kids or their parents. Live in Mapleton, Stacey Kafka, KEZI 9 News.
ODOT says there's been a dramatic increase in fatalities on Highway 126 between Eugene and Florence this year, and they are taking steps to try to cut down on crashes. 10 people have died on the roadway this year alone. In the last 6 years, there's been an average of one crash every 3.5 days, one person hurt every 4 days, and a fatal crash every 4 months. ODOT says it will underwrite extra enforcement patrols to try to improve safety, and it's asking drivers to obey the speed limit, buckle up, pay attention, and don't drive impaired.